Welcome back to Horns High Studios for another episode of 666 Seconds of Metal. I'm here with Shane from Winnipeg, Manitoba, up there in Canada. How's it going, Shane?
Not too bad, Pete. What's up?
You like my new studio look here, Shane?
Yeah, that's killer, man. Love it.
Yeah, got some new masks and had to do some rearranging, but still trying to work out the lighting, but it's getting closer. So
yeah. Now the Dexter wall is cool.
Now, you picked the episode tonight, so what do you got in store for us?
We're going to get a little bit savage tonight, Pete. A little bit of Carnal Savagery.
Nice.
Going to be talking about their new album, Into the Abysmal Void. And, if you're going to get savage, might as well make it carnal. That's what I always say. And I'd never heard of these guys until their latest release. Discovered them on Twitter, and I've been totally digging it. Going through their back catalog a bit. They got like four different albums, and Pete, this is just straight up old school death metal. It's everything that old school death metal should be, and
yeah,
it's just great stuff.
Yeah, I really love it.
These guys are from Sweden. Yeah, it's fun. These guys are from Sweden, so, of course they have the classic Swedish death metal sound and groove to it, but yeah, we have zombies, gratuitous gore, crazy album artwork, and, great big fat fuzzy groovy riffage. This is just morbid Swedish old school death metal at its finest, and I've heard stuff like this called the new wave of old school Swedish death metal, so I think that's probably pretty fitting here. And
yeah, the artwork is unbelievable.
Of course, you can make the comparisons to Dismember. Yeah, artwork is great. Every album has just killer, metal as fuck artwork, and
right.
So you can of course make the comparison to Entombed and Dismember. These guys really have that Swedish death metal sound pinned down. Yeah. These guys are a two-piece band. They're out of Gothenburg, Sweden, and they are on Moribund Records. Of course, they have gig players live, and they have had other members in the band. But currently, they're two. Their new album, Into the Abysmal Void, just came out in January. It's hot off the presses, and this is their fifth full-length studio release. There's another crazy thing. They just formed in 2020, so that's crazy busy. They actually put out two full-length ones in 2022.
Jeez.
And it must be that pent-up COVID energy.
I guess.
Sitting at home for 2 years, and
right.
We've had a lot of great albums recently, and
oh man,
that's what I attribute it to. Everybody sitting at home for 2 years, just banging this shit out now.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was I wasn't playing at the time, but I can only imagine they had to be going crazy. And just writing, doing like
not
home recordings
anywhere, and that'd be crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
So from Sweden impressive. Here, I hope I don't butcher these guys' names too bad. Here on bass, drums, and guitar, we have Mikael Lindgren, and on vocals we have Matthias Lilja.
Nice.
So not a big lineup to go through here. They haven't been in a lot of other bands. They've both been in a band called Divine Souls. They do have that in common. They did have another guitarist in the band on past albums, and he was from Divine Souls as well. And like I say, they've had other people in the band for live gigs, obviously, because there's just two of them. But right now, it's just Mikael and Matthias, and they're the undead zombie black heart of the band.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was surprised to see it was just two guys as well. But like you said, they have the session players that go live and they can play out.
New album, Into the Abysmal Void. It's full of guts and gore, and it's filled with chunky, groovy, just fuzzy, old school Swedish death metal riffs. Lots of slower zombie march riffs in there as well, and lots of fast, brutal beats. And I don't want to sound derogatory when I say this because I really like it, but it is typical sounding old school Swedish death metal, but they do the genre very well. And if you like that kind of stuff, you really can't go wrong with Carnal Savagery here.
No, I agree with you, dude. I mean, it's done well. I mean, I love it. I really, really like it as well.
Vocals are a little higher pitched than your average, your death metal growl. It's a little more fried, I guess you could say. Maybe a little bit more blackened sounding, but yeah, he does a great job of enunciation, and you can make out most of the lyrics. Unfortunately, the bass is rather typical of this genre, though. Sure, there are some standout moments. Title track, Abysmal Void, has a great bass intro, but basically it's for depth and rhythm.
Right.
Guitars sound great, though. Like I said, just fat, chunky, fuzzy, aggressive, filled with hooks and that ominous, dramatic Swedish death metal groove. Production and mixing, both great. Second to none, Everything just sounds mighty.
Right.
Album starts out with a track titled Defleshing Bones, and it's a banger. I was sold after this first track. I was like, yeah, I dig this, and it's a really good preview of what the rest of the album is all about. Second track, too, Morbid Death, just so much groove to it. A couple other standouts here for me were Column of Maggots, great fucking song title.
Love that. I played that on the podcast. Yeah, I love that one.
It's just great doom groove. Choke to Death is really good too, and of course the title track, Into the Abysmal Void. There's no bad songs on this album. Sometimes they slow things down a bit and bring in some of the more atmospheric Swedish death metal with almost Sabbathy riffs, and it's not super technical or anything, but they're not really inventing the wheel here. But what it is just 31 minutes of good old school sounding, just aggressive Swedish death metal.
Right.
Get into the album covers a bit here. The album covers are all great. I think you've went through them all here already. But yeah, they've used a couple different artists here from what I can tell, because they don't all look the same. But yeah, the album covers are all great, very brutal. Every one of them is just metal as hell, man. And the new album artwork is done by a guy who's going by Sijimbi Art. And he's an Indonesian artist. And he's been in the game for a while, doing logos and album art since 2010. And I was on the webpage for him, and I was counting, and then I gave up because there must have been like 50 different bands on there that he's done work for. So
wow.
He's pretty prolific in Sweden or whatever underground scene he's in, because I think I only recognized one of the other bands. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, great album covers, though. And that new one is just, like I say, it's metal as hell right there.
Yeah, that's badass. I love it.
So, go check out their YouTube channel at Carnal Savagery. They have 4 videos for the new album, Limb by Limb, Choke to Death, Embalmed Corpses, and Into the Abysmal Void. Plus, they have about 7 other videos on their channel. So Go give them a like, subscribe, follow, whatever on the socials. If you like stuff like Entomb, Dismember, Grave, Autopsy, Cannibal Corpse, any type of old school Swedish death metal, do yourself a favor, go check this shit out. Carnal Savagery, Into the Abysmal Void, man.
Definitely, man. I concur 100%. So, all right, well, you guys got something to go listen to, and we'll see you next time on 666 Seconds of Metal.
Horns fucking high.